G'day guys, welcome back to Have a Crack. Today we're by the mighty Murray River on the Victorian side, and today I'm going to show you a walkthrough of everything about that I've done to this vehicle here. This is a 2012 Toyota Landcruiser 76 series. This thing is a V8 4.5 litre single turbo, and it's a very agricultural sort of vehicle. But like most people, I've modified the absolute bejesus out of this, and I'm going to show you what I've done. Let's go. Before we get too far into it though, if I've done something to this, or I haven't done something to this, and you think I should, or you think I shouldn't have, please let me know. Where I am, it's a very isolated sort of an area. There's not many people who do this sort of thing. So if you've got ideas for this vehicle that I haven't done yet, drop a comment, let me know, and I'll see if it works. We'll start at the front, have a look at the bar work, go through the outside, go the inside, go the roof, and go the back. I went for the TJM bars on this. This is the TJM Outback bars. This is winch ready. It's got recovery points already in there, rated recovery points. Overall, I've just been quite happy with it. Where we live is quite a few kangaroos that get around at night time, so the bull bar wasn't really an option. It had TJM bars. I've got the parker lights here, or the driving lights underneath. So these are LEDs, these are LEDs. What I've got in the actual headlights there are regular halogens, and we'll change them over in a video very shortly. I actually picked them up today. Got the steady spotlights here. I can't remember the bloody name of these things. I'll put it down the bottom there. These things are absolutely damn well incredible. These things, I think they go to 1.1 or 1.2 kilometers out, and I absolutely believe that. They go a bloody long way out. Not really much else done to it here. Got the GME antenna. This is the antenna that I'll generally use in the high country. Just if we were doing, say, the border track or something like that, where it's nice and flat as far as the eye can see, I would change this out for the other one that I have at home. Around the side here, I've got the TJM AirTech snorkel. There is a snorkel that comes on these things. Is that a snorkel? I don't actually think it's a snorkel. It's like I think they call it a raised air intake or something like that. It comes in 2 parts or 3 parts, so it's not watertight. So they don't call it a snorkel. And the one that comes on the vehicle is loud as. It's kind of annoying if you're, well, if the rest of the vehicle's kind of quiet. This head here, I haven't found it to be noisy at all. I've got these Clearview copies from Ocam. These ones are not the electrical ones. The mirrors that come on this car are very small, and what I've got here works really well. Because with this here, we bought this mainly to tow the horse float. That was the primary reason. We just turned it into a tourer, if you like. And these lights, these mirrors here for towing the horse float are just schmick. They're just so good. They're big, and they look a little bit weird, I suppose, from the front of the vehicle. When you look at it, it looks like a Dumbo with big ears, but they just work, and they work really well. Just for driving without a trailer on, they're really good. There is a question that gets asked a lot on Facebook when someone puts these mirrors on: what do you do with the badges? And this is what I've done. This badge here is the original badge, the Toyota badge, and the V8 one here is just a V8 thing that I bought off eBay. And these things all cover the holes. I've held them on with alien tape. If you don't know what alien tape is, if you don't want something to come off like ever, put it on with alien tape. It's pretty damn good. And it's held on there quite well so far. That's been on there for a good 6 to 12 months, I guess. And it's holding on just fine. There really isn't anything else outside the vehicle that's worth noting. I haven't done that much to the vehicle. It's one of these chicken or the egg things, and do you actually need a chicken or an egg? And as time goes on, you'll work out, do I need to raise this? Because I'm running on stock suspension at the moment. There's been nothing done to it. The wheels are stock. The tyres are not. I'll show you them in a second. But if I do end up raising this and putting larger wheels on there, then I'll probably put a rear bar on there. So the jump to do that, to going from what I've got now to doing that, is significant. We're probably talking about 13 grand or so, 6 grand to lift it to 6 grand. Yeah, they reckon about 3 grand an inch. So 6 grand, 5 or 6 grand to lift it. Then you're going to want wheels and bigger tyres. So there's probably another, oh geez, probably another 4 grand, I suppose. Then a rear bar starts adding up. So really, it's when you're looking to do that one upgrade, you've really got to know that you need it, and don't do it just because everyone else is doing it. So where I spend most of my time is here, in this bush, where it's not hilly. There's not really too much here that's going to bottom your vehicle out. So I haven't found a need for it. I only go to the high country and places like that occasionally. But when I get there, I don't want to be stuck not being able to do a track that I can't get over because of this. So, I don't know. If you've got one of these vehicles, what do you think? Should I be upgrading this? And if so, what to? It's already a bit of a climb for my wife. She's a bit shorter than I am to get into this vehicle, so I don't want to go too high. I'm thinking 2 inches probably the most I would go. But anyway, what do you think? Should I raise it or not? Inside the cabin here, there's not really that much done. I've put a new head unit in here. This is a Sony head unit. I'll put the model number down the bottom there if you like. Cruiser console, center console. This thing is... If you've bought one of these, if you have one of these cars or you're thinking about buying one of these vehicles, these are agricultural vehicles. They don't have anywhere to rest your arm, your elbow, like lean on your elbow as you go driving down the road, especially on long trips. So this was a must. And when I installed this, and it was dead set easy to install, and taking out that little cup holder that was there, this is fantastic. So it's got a couple of cup holders which can come out, and I don't know if you ever want to store anything under that. I suppose you could if you wanted to hide something under there. A couple of coin holders there, a USB charger down the front here, as well as a cigarette socket down there as well. Other than that, that's all that's in there. We've got the GME XRS here. That's going down and through a plug just down the bottom here. It's nice and tidy. I quite like how that one there works. I think it's very neat. What else is in here? This is the light down here, the button, if you like, for the spotlights. And I've got that wired in so that when I turn the high beams on, the spotlights come on, or I can turn it off with that down there. The head unit, as I said before, it's all touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and all the rest of it. It's quite good. I quite like that. It works well. Here's a tip for you, actually, before I show you that. That's this here is NewTracks. It's an app, runs through Apple CarPlay, and this will track all your routes and things as you do your off-roading. So it'll track all your journeys, if you like, and you can replay them, add waypoints, things like that. Bloody good app. If I'm a little bit lost in the high country, this has helped me out a few times. The other thing here is the throttle controller. I've actually just had this tuned. I'll show you that in a second. I haven't used it yet because I've just picked it up with the tune, so we'll see. The Red Arc Tow Pro. This is the light for the backlight, and I'll show you that one in a second. And this one is the light for the 50-inch bar up here on top. So this will all come on. This one and the spotlights will come on when I turn the high beams on, but I can hit the button and turn them out. This vehicle already has, because it's a GXL, it's already got the diff locks front and back. What I was going to say with the Apple CarPlay and talking on your phone through Apple CarPlay when you're driving this thing, because these are reasonably loud vehicles, it can be hard for the other person to hear you. Now, the way you can get around that is, well, if you've got an iPhone and it's on a later version of the operating system, when you're on the phone, swipe down from the top right corner on that phone and it'll say something like noise isolation or voice isolation. And that will make your voice on this vehicle when you're using CarPlay so much clearer. I spoke to my wife on the phone after I did it, and she said, "Where are you?" And I said, I'm driving wherever I was at the time." She went, "You're not driving anywhere. I can't hear the car." It was so like crystal clear. So absolutely do that if you're an Apple user. If you're not an Apple user, I don't know what the solution is. Under the bonnet here, there's really nothing to show you too much, really. It's a work vehicle, so it's all dusty. Where we live is on a dirt road, so it's always going to look a bit dirty. This wiring that's here goes to the house battery in the back of the vehicle. I'll show you that in a second. Secondary fuel filter, that's it. And we put that secondary fuel filter on because we live in the country and the fuel is generally pretty bad. So there's been a few times where servos around our area have had water in the tank, and plenty of people in town have been screwed over by it. And these vehicles, if you know anything about them, they're fairly well underpowered when you first get them. So we've done a couple of mods to the performance, if you like, on this vehicle. So the air intake, the snorkel that you saw there, that's one. There is a 3-inch stainless steel exhaust that goes onto here, that is on here now. And already that gave me a good performance boost. You could feel it as you were driving it. And today I picked the vehicle up and we just got new heavy duty clutch put in and it got it dynoed. So now we've got about 540 something Newton meters of torque and 153 kilowatts. What that means is straight off the bat, you're going to be better off with towing. But I can tell you now, the driving of this at highway speed it's like a new car. Before, if I was following a truck and I wanted to go around a truck, I'd have to wait until I could see down the road a good kilometre or so, maybe 2, and drop back a gear, wait for a bit of a tailwind, come out and go around that truck, and eventually I'll get around it. But now, sitting at 100 or just under 100, put your foot down, it's at 120 like that. It is just, it's like a new car. I'll have a look up on the roof and show you what's up there. So I've got a wedge tail rack up there. Wedge tail roof rack, it's made in Melbourne. Put it together myself. They shipped it up as like flat pack IKEA sort of situation. And I've been overly happy with it. Let me just turn this around so you can see. So what we've got going on down here, the rack itself, I'll show you the lights at the front in a second, but down there we've got the awning mounts, the 270 awning mounts. This is a 30-second Storm Chaser awning. I've been incredibly happy with this. I had a larger solar panel on here before. This is only an 80-watt one, so it really does bugger all except maintain things when I'm parked in the sun a little bit. It's not going to be groundbreaking as far as power goes. Up the top at the front there, I've got some tie-down points, and that's for my swag. I've got another section over the front there which is empty, which I may well end up using for firewood storage. Max Track's here in the middle, and this is a Sanhema water tank. It's a 30-litre water tank. It was something that I was given to do a review on, and I've moved it around to different places on the roof rack to find the place that I'm happiest with. And I ended up moving it back to here, putting little bits of rubber underneath it, and now it's quiet as a mouse, and it just works. I've got a shovel holder on this side, and I'm not happy with those. So the shovel holders do exactly what they say they should do. The shovel holds in there just fine, but it's probably more the shovel that I have in that it's a little bit too narrow for it, and it tends to twist around and vibrate a little bit and makes a bit of noise, so I don't like that. So I've packed it with a little bit of rubber. I might end up doing something more with it. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Also up here on the roof rack are these hand grips, which are quite good to get up onto the roof. Like, put your foot up here, hold on to that, climb up onto the roof. And they do come with these rock light holders. So these here, well, they're just bloody awesome. These are the amber lights, steady lights, and it puts out a good beam of light. Probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 meters out here from the side of the vehicle. And I don't use that for any type of camping. It's more if I'm looking for something around the vehicle at night, I can hit the switch and light it up. These ones up here I do use. So I made a little bracket here for these ones. These are exactly the same lights. This one here is the light bar is controlled from the driver's, the cockpit, if you like, from the driver's seat. And that's there mainly just for seeing behind the vehicle when you're out in a very dark area, which is, well, to be honest, that's everywhere here. 30-second awning on the side. This thing has been just awesome. It was one that I never really considered. I thought they're going to be a cheap, crappy brand, but it's turned out to be really, really good. This is the Storm Chaser one. It's the newer version that they have that's going to be, it's got the little holes in it on the awning, so it'll take a bit of wind through, the vent holes, if you like. So it'll go up and handle a little bit more wind than the old ones. Now over here, we've got how I get the power down from the roof into the vehicle. So it comes down through the side here and then through the hole and then underneath all the fit out, and the same on this side over here. So this one over here, this one's for the solar panel, and this one here is just a trailer cable that I've used. It's a 5-core or 7-core, I can't remember now. I've done a video on all of this stuff. So if you want to know how I installed it all, just go and check those ones out. The lights that are up on the back there, they're controlled by these lights here. The fit out in this, I've done a video on all of this as well. On the side here, these are Kaon molle racks, and they go on the sides, and it helps me store a little bit of stuff on the side here. I used to have the first aid kit up there, but I've changed it to put it inside the vehicle now. I just figured that in my head that was a safer way to do things in the case of a vehicle rollover. I couldn't open the back doors. I've just mounted it now on the back of the Kaon cargo barrier. So the good part about these things on the side here, the molle panels, is that they hold the solar shades on well. Everyone knows that these things can pop off. A good tip, I mentioned that on another video, and somebody said to me, don't use water, don't use spit, use a bit of oil. So on these ones here, I've actually got just a drip of olive oil on them, and they've never come off. So whoever that was, thank you very much. That's worked really, really well. So up here, there's the, as I said before, the Kaon light cargo barrier, the Kaon shelf, travel buddy. I never thought I would use one of these ever. I thought it was just a big load of crap, but it's awesome. I'm absolutely converted. This thing is fantastic. These brackets here that hold all these switches are also from Kaon. There was an issue with installing these. Just have a look at the rear fit out that I talked about, that video, and I'll go into more detail about how I got around all that, and it worked really well. I think anyone who's looking at this video right now would go, that's really neat. I like how that is. I've never had anyone say otherwise. I think, personally, I think it looks just great, and it's functional, looks good. I can't complain. The USBs here I do use for charging different things, like this camera here. I've got a 1000 watt Renogy inverter in there. I've only got 1000 watt because it's only there to charge my drone batteries for when I'm out filming. I've got three different YouTube channels, so the drone gets used a bit, and that's the only reason that it's there. Other than that, I don't use it, and that's controlled by the remote switch that's down the bottom here. I've got a Renogy battery monitor down here as well. The fridge that I have is at angle 30, I think it's 39 litres or 40 litres. It's a fridge freezer, so it's half and half. It is only me that goes out when it's just the vehicle. When I've got the float, if Sarah's coming with me, it's usually taking the float and towing the float, and the float has like a 90 litre angle in it as well. So between the two, there's bucket loads of refrigeration there for the both of us. The fit out here is from Offroad Systems. Yeah, Offroad Systems. They're based out of Sydney somewhere, I think. And I can't rate this enough. The fit out fit near perfectly. I had to modify just a bee's dick in a bit. There was next to nothing. I mean, very, very, very happy with it. The drawers are deep drawers. It's built really, really well. This table here comes out, and you can set this up underneath the awning. This is what I do so that you're not stuck at the back of the vehicle preparing things. I do need to work out a way to stop that sliding out. Like it's just on carpet there. So as I go through corrugations and stuff, this sort of comes out and comes against the solar screen there on the back. I'll probably find, I've seen someone else do it. I think it might have been Mad Matt. I'm not 100%. Put like an elastic loop around this. That was a good idea. I'll probably end up doing something like that. The drawers are nice big drawers. I still use these Sandheimer bags that they sent me. Again, I didn't pay for them. That was for a review, and I still rate them. I still think they're just the duck's nuts. They work really, really well. I don't know if you've seen these before. I got these are Zippo firelighters. If you use firelighters of any other sort, I would highly recommend that you go and try these. These are really, really good. They burn for a very long time and gets that fire going first time, every time. It just works really well. So up the top here, there's some fire lighting stuff. There's my tyre stuff in the back here. Like the air hoses and deflators. The iTech World lithium jump starter. If you haven't got a jump starter in your vehicle, I would highly recommend it. This one here, I've never needed it for my car, but I've jump start a couple now of other vehicles with this, and it works as advertised. It's like a nice little insurance policy for me because I do this solo so much. It's a nice peace of mind to have that if my battery, for whatever reason, went flat, if I didn't turn the lights off or some stupid bloody thing, I know I'm going to be able to start the vehicle in the morning because I've got that jump starter there. I haven't got this all set up for going away right now. What's in here now is usually what stays in here. There's a little bit of fire lighting stuff down here. This is basically my pantry down here. So not cooking stuff, I should say. So like the welding gloves, the fight nines, things like that. Some containers that are usually filled with food to go and heat up when we go out there and cook. I've got a few different ways that we cook on fire, different fires, different setups. So if you'd like to know more about that, let me know and I'll show you. There's a few different ways I do it. I'll probably shoot a video for it anyway because I'm sure someone will find it interesting. Oh, the other thing is the workspace here. So that goes to there. That works just fine. You can prepare what you want to cook on there. If you open up this drawer here, this will all come out even further and you can sit out here well and truly under the shade of the awning. And you are in there as well, don't get me wrong. But this is a lot of room out here to prepare what you want to do. It's very clever. As far as the back goes, that's really it. I've got the lithium under there, down the side there. It's a 150 amp 8M power one. Now I've certainly thought about putting things here and here. I've seen a few different guys have these on in the Facebook groups about like fold down tables. I don't need a fold down table there because this here comes out. What I'm thinking about doing though is taking this off and making like a cavity shelving, if you like, in there. It's just an idea that I'm thinking about doing because when all this comes out, I can't drop a table down. There's no point having a table there. But if I had like think spice rack and holding your sauces and things like that for using while you're cooking, like cooking oil, utensils, that sort of stuff, I'm thinking about doing something like that there. What do you think? These solar screens, they work really well. The back of the vehicle stays nice and cool since I've had this on, so the fridge is not working as hard as what it was before, even though I don't have any here. But the unforeseen benefit of this is that when I've got all my camera gear in the back, it doesn't look like the back of my vehicle's all full of stuff that's attractive to the thief. Up the top there is a 50-inch LED, single strip LED, slimline I think it's called, a steady light. If you haven't noticed, every light on this vehicle is steady, and the headlights that I'm about to install there are also steady. I'm a bit of a fan. They just work, and I haven't had anything fail, so touch wood, it'll keep going well. That works out really well. The two spots that I have go out like pencil beams to a bloody long way in the distance. This here helps light the front and the sides a little bit, helps me see those kangaroos, and I think just by putting, there's two reasons for doing the lights LED. One, it'll give me just that little bit more light, and two, it'll just look cool. These are the tyres. These are Falcon Wild Peak. I've had these on a few vehicles now, and I absolutely rate them. So you've really got to decide what your driving conditions are going to be more often than not. What I mean is there's no point putting big muddy tyres on your car if you're not going to be doing that. I'm going to say 70 to 80% of the time that you're driving that vehicle. Things like muddies are great for doing mud, in my opinion, but once you're not doing mud, they're friggin' loud. But if you're into that, so be it. You're going to be one of those people. And if you're still driving around the roads and stuff with your mud tyres, your fuel economy is going to go through the floor because those things are not good for maintaining fuel efficiency. I find that these Wild Peaks, they're just bloody good. They're good off-road. There's probably better tyres for off-road, but I'm not sure of the percentage of these. They're probably something like 60-40 or 70-30, something like that, I would say, as in on and off-road. They don't throw big rocks like some tyres that I've had on other cars before, because where I live, I would say 90%, 90, maybe 80% of the roads that I drive on, our road is gravel. So it's always picking up rocks. So So I drive on a lot of dirt roads. So these tyres, they really don't pick up that many rocks. As I was about to finish the video, then I realised I haven't told you about these yet. These here are from Ocam. These, what are they called? Weather shields. They just stick on with double-sided tape. I was very apprehensive about putting them on with double-sided tape. They've worked really, really well. It's good in the summer. You can crack your window an inch or so. It can still rain. No water's going to get in. It's they just work. So yeah, there's the 76 series. It's a very agricultural vehicle. These things have got kind of like a bit of a cult following behind them. They're very robust vehicles. They're incredibly reliable. I think that's why most people use them. But the more things that you do to these, this is probably the most modified series of vehicles in the market, I would say, four-wheel driving at least. But if you want that reliability and you want that cool V8 sound, this is where it's at.